It all. Okay, so anyways, what we're going to be recording is this right here. So for everybody to see, I did a YouTube short a little while ago, and I did this patch, which I believe I called it the plastering patch, okay? And that plastering patch consisted of no tapes at all. Literally, we just reached through and this piece of drywall got glued to the back. Now, I'm going to try to put a link on, or maybe I'll even add that video right to this video again. But someone in the comment section questioned why I would do it this way. Apparently, they were... Did you have me in there at all?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. It's okay. I can edit all this stuff out. What I need. They questioned the reasoning behind it and suggested that I use epoxy. And then other people commented a little bit, and basically speaking, nothing was really accomplished. Anyways, I'm just going to make the record straight. Epoxy is not the way to go. This holds. How well does it hold? Before I show this, can you please just get the camera so we can see both the top and the bottom? So this is a fairly hefty hammer. I'm going to, like that. The sheet of drywall just bounced. One more time. Okay, now we finally have a hole. So that's approximately how much it took to get that off. And as you can see, you can't even tell the difference really between where the drywall mud is and where the actual gypsum from this piece of board is. Okay, so we've done that. Now we're going to show the butterfly patch. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit by making it straight. I'm sure many of you have seen the butterfly patch before, but in case you haven't, you'll probably quite like this. It's a very, very common patch, and frequently I have to use the butterfly patch instead of the plastering patch. Now the plastering patch that I put on, as I'm going to state again, doesn't require tapes, and it requires the smallest surface because it's pretty much flat, just like the drywall. What I'm going to be doing here, or if you're putting tapes onto this hole, that means it's going to build it up. Now obviously the tapes are not going to be 4 inches or 5 inches like my hands are. 1 millimeter is a lot in taping though. So I'm going to be a piece of drywall approximately that big. So just going to cut one out. Take it off the end of this board. I had already prepped a piece of drywall for this before, but foolishly I made that too small. I think this might not break because I think I have another patch. I do have another patch. Going right there. And obviously, if you were doing this, it would be attached to a wall. So anyways, first thing I want to do, backside. Oh boy, this is barely going to fit here. But it's good enough. So what we want to do is we want to insert a piece of drywall in there with leaving the paper out. I'm going to cut this fairly loosely. So this should fit in without much of a problem at all. Line those edges up. Then we go over here. And okay, yeah, we've got about 1 inch on either side, so that should be plenty. It's not a very time-consuming process, but I think someone in another comment section suggested that he did something like 137 of these in a day. One thing I can do, yeah, my camera person here is looking like, what an idiot. That's going to fit. Now, I've already mixed myself up some sheetrock 45 to make the time easier. It's fairly smooth right now. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for volunteers to show up and clean my garage for me. Anybody in the comments section wants to clean, by all means, just feel free to let me know, because I'm not going to do it. Now, first thing I'm going to do is, just like a tape, we're going to get enough mud on these edges so that it'll hold down this paper here. Second thing I want to do though is there's going to be a gap between here and where the piece of drywall goes. There's going to be some gap, and we don't want that. We want this to end up being solid. So I just take my mud and I add some to the edge on all four sides. Something I should mention, the last video I did with the plastering patch, I actually deliberately left my tools at work. Okay, I left my tools at work. I wanted to demonstrate to people that if you have a little bit of patience and a little bit of knowledge, you should be fine with tools that you're probably going to find lying around your house. Although at the same time, unless you happen to work in construction, I seriously doubt you're going to have any drywall sitting in your garage. That's a drawback for this. Now, you probably can't see it with the camera, but this is recessed in. I can go underneath and push that up. I don't know if the camera is going to catch that or not. But it's not perfectly flat. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be perfectly flat. I'm going to stop wiping that now. Anyways, I'm going to have to widen this out significantly more than I would have with the plastering patch, but this will work. So for the plastering patch, I actually just simply coated my hole with some other 6-inch knife that I had lying around. In this particular case, I'm going to try a little harder and use a 12-inch knife. Camera troubles. Yeah, that one keeps overheating out here. Critter was the one to notice it. Yeah, my camera seems to be overheating. I'm going to have to get a real dedicated camera for this eventually. Boy, a lot of debris in my mud. So anyways, back to it. Best way to do this is let your sheetrock harden and then tackle it again. Otherwise, you can't really wipe too hard, or you're going to push your butterfly patch through. That's pretty much all you're going to accomplish until it gets harder. And if I was doing this myself, I would allow it to dry, scrape that edge off. I don't even know if you can see that edge right there, and then go. But the other method, and the best method to use, would be let this dry overnight, then sand it, put another coat on. And that's all there is to the butterfly patch. Done.